두 번째
That
세트는
was Hana
T1이
Life Esports
가져가면서
versus
경기를 다시
T1
원점으로
game number 2, and T1 managed to even out the series. This time around, T1 banned out most of the main picks coming out from Hana Life Esports. Those teams focused on the power picks on the side of the enemy side. As a counter into Camille, they took Renekton, but T1 chose to open Renekton and blind pick Camille.
세트에서 뽑았던 주력탱들을 차단해 놓고 카밀의
So
어떤
T1 banned out some of the power picks that came out in game number 1. They had this confidence that they will have a very safe game overall.
시원하게 본인들이 뭔가를 만들어 보겠다는 플레이였고 뭐 정화의 그 의미는
And
저희가
about
따로
the
확인을
cleanse,
봐야 되겠지만
we might have to
오히려
check
약간
later on.
더 성급해졌다랄까요? 흥분했다고
But because of that cleanse, Renekton was a little bit too flustered and he was rushing into Camille to find any sort of an edge over Camille in the side lane.
합류해서 숫자 차이로 이득을 보는 게 아니라 한타 자체를 카밀이 더
And Camille did a lot of work in terms of team fights as well. So we have to admit that the choice of the rune was correct from Kana.
앞으로 한 번 더 돌진하면서 또 이 레넥톤이 전사하는
We had a lot of highlights on the top side as well. And watch over here. T1 was aware that they don't have any control over the Herald, and they had all the information that Hana Life players are rotating to that Herald play. And Dudu, he was a little bit late, checking that Volibear was rotating to the bottom lane. And the best play for this kind of situation is to running away really far. So Dudu, it would have been better for him to just clear out the wave and keep running to the enemy side. And because Dudu chose to keep going for that trade, well, Hana Life didn't find any value with that play coming out from Renekton. T1 was really smart, utilizing and capitalizing on their vision advantage. In the later phase of the game, T1 almost lost the game, but they were able to turn the game around with a very smart decision. Aphelios, he had flash and he could utilize the Nimbus clock by flashing forward, but Viper chose to go a little bit more safe. Camille already used his E to get out of that terrain, so Viper could have just gone forward. And Volibear, he pretended that he was facing. And this was a 007 movie kind of highlight. 007 to be more precise. And because of the red buff, they were able to continue this fight. Aphelios was so close to winning that fight by himself, but Camille and Volibear survived, and they were the two main characters that turned the whole fight around. In addition to that, T1 always had the vision advantage around that Dragon Pit. And T1 was really proactive, utilizing this kind of vision advantage. It's time to check out the player of the game on the side of T1. We had one main character of this 007 movie, and it was Kana on Camille, his 7th POG of the splits. Thanks to the cleanse, he didn't die once in this game. He did get some value out of his rune choice. Dudu was also a little bit emotional in game number 2. And Hana played flawlessly in game number 2. And also punishing the mistakes is also part of a player's performance level. Because Hana didn't die once, T1 was able to win this game, because if Aphelios got a kill onto Camille in that last fight, this game could have ended in a different way. Hana is on a very close chase onto BDD for the POG standings, and sadly our good old Valid analyst missed another POG over here, voting too, cause And Cuz did share a lot of votes with Kana over here. Kana is the best player in T1 so far, and he's been doing really great work, regardless of the fact that he's a rookie player.
All right, G-Sun, you're being a little bit mean to the Valve analyst. I think everybody else was wrong on this one as well. We saw the highlight of Cuz doing a lot of stuff around the map that was apparently for Kana. So, not sure about that one. Yes, he managed to kill a Renekton that overextended against him into a giant minion wave at level 2, but that's not a highlight. That's a low light. And this gentleman right here, even though he does look in relatively high spirits right now, some smirking going on, as you can see, for good old Dudu. I don't know.
He's like, little do they know I'm playing R5 Renekton.
Little do they know. Exactly.
Well, not R5, but B4 maybe.
Yeah. No. Let's just first pick it.
Oh, I mean, really good. Yeah, he's flexible, right?
Yeah.
Support Renekton.
I mean, I like it. I just don't like surprise Renekton. So just hit me with it straight up.
Support Renekton's better than surprise Renekton.
Yep. I just wanna give you a stat. Humble Life for 100% win rate against T1 this season on blue side.
Ooh, okay. That means that T1 have not won a game on red side against Humble Life.
That is correct.
And now they're going to change their bans here a little bit. They left the Karma open in game 1. And will they do it again here? They banned Aphelios the last time. This time they're going to ban the Karma.
First pick Nidalee. Let's go. No. The Ezreal does make a lot of sense here. Viper wanting that one again, like in game 1. They first picked at game 1, they won. So, don't mind it at all. Yuumi being considered, I'd love Teddy an effort to just go Yuumi Lucian. That is very, very frightening.
Interesting, actually. The Xayah did not look like it did much in the last game up against the Ezreal. So I don't think they want to go down that path again, but they will still pick up Set, which it had some good moments and then it had some pretty hard moments towards the end of the game.
Picking away the Bard, I think, would be a decent option here. It's going to be MF. And so Humble Life will pick Bard Zoe, and I guess feel really happy.
So they didn't want to pick Aphelios
Sylas instead.
With, going up against Ezreal, and it probably would have just been, Bard Galio again, which might not have been too happy for an Aphelios player. But they still pick up the Bard, and the Sylas that comes in is very interesting.
And now Nautilus is going to be banned away.
Really
T1 not wanting to play the Zoe, by the looks of things. And so it's just going to be Teddy opting in for the Misfortune matchup into the Ezreal for the laning phase. Still, this should be a lane that Humble Life are going to be very happy with there towards the bottom side. So I don't know how much I agree with it. Nidalee's going to be banned. So Haru's not going to be back on the champion that he played so well on in game number 1. Definitely good news for T1 fans.
Yeah, they really showed a lot of respect towards some of those big picks for Hanwha Life, which is not something that is usually shown to Hanwha Life by some of the better teams here. Usually they just crush them regardless, but T1 struggling a little bit. The Zoe ban is interesting. I suppose they would rather something else to go into the mid lane here for Faker.
I like it. Just get Faker off the champion that he's now got 2 games of comfort on in this particular day's matchup.
Also, the portal jump for Sylas is pretty much useless. I mean, it can be okay if you can land your chains after the portal jump, but there are better matchups for sure for the Sylas, and it's probably going to be going mid, almost definitely for Miru, so they want to take that away.
It does cancel out any easy pick.
No Renekton.
Oh my god. Humble Life, the saviors of T1, have destroyed any way for them to R5 Renekton.
It's so good that they had to ban it. I mean, can you blame them? R5 Renekton, so good.
Well, Camille is going to be locked in, and that was the champion that Kana just got player of the game on.
And you know what? I think absolutely the ban should have been Camille. We were 100%. Talking about how good Camille is nowadays. She is above 70% win rate now after that last win. Mordekaiser is the exact opposite. Obviously, I think after you get one item, you can Death Realm Camille and put on. You have a little bit of value there. All other states of the game generally.
Oh, there we go. Karthus locked in. Cuz was a bit of a Karthus player, but
somebody call
this
LS.
is going to be Faker's Karthus in the mid lane. And if there's ever an ultimate that you don't want to give
Faker
to Sylas.
Or no, okay. Camille top, Faker on set.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. And of course, Cuz going to be playing it. There we go. This makes a little bit more sense. But definitely a fantastic damage array. Our friend LS would be very happy with how T1 have sculpted the physical damage outside of just the Karthus being relied on for magic. Very, very good stuff here. And I think the last two picks for Hanwha were like two of the worst possible choices they could have made. And they may just be punished here as this draft is fantastic out of T1.
Yeah,
the R5 Karthus.
The coin landed on heads tonight here in game number 3 for T1. That is very, very lucky for them. They were able to find this draft. And I agree with you. I don't know what Mordekaiser Olaf is doing in this comp. Like, what's the idea behind it, really? Like, how do these champions work really well with the other champions? Yeah, you have an ability to run them down, but you're going to get demolished late game again by Camille, which you already saw. It was picked on R4, okay? Yeah. It's very confusing to me. Hanwha Life looked great in game 1. Their draft was pretty good. Now it's I don't know, maybe they're overthinking it. Really not a fan of what was going on in those last couple of picks.
Well, let's see what Hanwha Life can do. They're back on the blue side. This is the side that they win on when they're up against T1. But this is a much better T1 draft coming in game number 3. There's the Fnatic skin onto the Karthus. Bit of a shout out to the BMW brethren, I guess. As, yeah, Fnatic, of course, not exactly having the greatest of times over in the LEC. Based on expectation, of course. No one expected Mad Lions to be so damn good. Or maybe they did. Just wasn't me, an LCK commentator.
Most people did not expect.
The Spanish Inquisition.
Mm-hmm. And the Mad Lions domination.
The one thing that I was going to say is that Sylas stealing Requiem is scary. Because that's a good ultimate.
Yeah.
You know? And it might be that the Sylas has a little bit more damage available because Cuz is only going to have his jungle to farm. Does do it very, very quickly. Gets a lot more gold than a lot of junglers. But still is a jungler. So we'll have to see how it goes. Miru has probably taken the Abscond Abduct for his first option. We'll see how Faker is going to deal with it here as he's just going to pick up the minion wave, get things situated in his favor. As Miru just, he doesn't want to be in this lane.
Yeah, he just walks away.
Done.
See ya.
Oh, is it a level 1 phase breaker here for Faker? As you can see, just wandering up. Yeah, there it is. Grabs the 1-2 punch, as Set is wont to do, but that's a good trade back. Miru just saying that he's not going to be pushed around here in this lane. But the grit means that Faker just basically wins every trade. That's just how Set works if you're going to brawl with him.
Dudu and Haru have not found a win on these champions. Viper obviously 1-8 looks kind of silly, but that's more of a team issue, not exactly Viper's. Ezreal, yep, definitely can play that champion. Because first pick here on the Karthus. Again, guys, it is 10-14, so Karthus buffs are in. And
Cuz was already good at this champion, by the way. This is one of the ones that is going to reward him for his more PvE playstyle that we like to talk about, especially recently. Cuz has been sort of a lot of different themes of jungler over his career. As this red buff is going to suffer the wrath of the Skittles. Taste the rainbow brambleback.
There's only one flavor, though. They're
yeah,
all
that's a shame. The cherry flavor, and it's not my favorite. It's kind of
cherry flavor. They're blue.
Oh, the Skittles. Sorry.
Yeah, the Skittles
For some reason I was
themselves are
talking
like
about
blue.
the brambleback. I'm losing my mind.
No. You know that like tropical Skittles version? You know that there were like the tropical and one was like the beach blue, kind of like blue raspberry, but light blue colored.
Yep.
That's what the Skittles remind me of. The ones that the Karthus is pushing out right now. I miss Skittles. I haven't had Skittles in a long time.
And it's been a while. I just don't eat candy very often.
Yeah.
I favor savory food like way more.
Yeah. If I'm gonna have candy nowadays, usually it's like chocolate. You know?
Yeah.
Not like the pure sugar.
Mirror's in trouble, but he's gonna come back, looks for the stun onto Faker, who just presses his ghost button for funsies. And Haru now trying to chase him down. Kuz is going to be here with a wall of pain. And Haru's going to walk in it, eat some of those Skittles that you were getting a little bit jealous of. And then wanders back towards the southern side of the map. Dudu trying to find some obliterates onto Canna here, but hasn't been so lucky. As there's a teleport back in. And if that undertow had have landed, might have been a little bit of trouble there for Faker, but otherwise it's going to be fine.
Is this a game where it's like, let's feed our junglers? Because one of them tried to push back to get Miru out of the lane. Then Kuz comes in and tries to push to punish the back of Miru. And then Haru's there again. He's able to hold it, and then the TP comes in as,
oh dear. That's going to be the Death's Grasp coming forward, and now it's up to Haru. He's going to flash in. Hasn't even thrown an axe yet, as there's the flash out. Some shenanigans may unfold as Haru. That's another axe miss. That's a hookshot success. And Canna just wanders out casually. That's embarrassing.
Oh, spotted. They could try to dive here.
Yeah, full health bar here for Haru. Yeah. Canna, not a lot of mana. He should be dead. As the Obliterate comes in, Dudu secures the assist, and that is first blood. So finally, they're able to get that one done.
Yeah. Because meanwhile, you know, he's level 5 Karthus. He's not going to try to go up there and try desperately to land some Skittles against a couple of players that are not going to be full-on engaging. So it was just a good roam, a good play by Helma Life, but we got to see what T1 are going to get in trade for this. So the TP comes in for Kana. He's going to throw out a little Yumi. And the Infernal Drake burst is awesome, okay? You're going to be getting so much here, especially for Kuz, but also Kana and Teddy. And the Karthus has the most CS, basically, in the game. Just behind the Ezreal, he's got the most on his team.
Yeah, he's a big boy. And this is exactly what you want, right? You want to feed the Karthus. He is the carry of this team alongside Teddy. Teddy going to be doing the physical damage. Karthus going to be doing the magic damage. Everyone going to be happy as Faker throws a Haymaker the wrong direction. Or was it the right direction? We'll never know. Might have been trying to get that one CS.
He's just on a different plane of existence from the rest of us, so he sees things we don't.
Are we allowed to question it?
Yeah, it's like the fourth dimension that most of us can't see.
All right, this is
Only
another one of
Baker
those Galaxy Brain situations we were talking about.
So the flash is good by Dudu. You know, he did as much as possible to try to bait it in. He was going to die if he didn't flash. And the flash here by Kana is good as well because he knew that he could use the little... what do you call it? The little gap in the side of the wall.
Yeah.
And last scene plant is down, but it's Sylas, so eventually Kana was going to die. The hook shot still on cooldown. And then waits, but it's well done there as a fight in the mid lane.
Yep, Mirror trying to get out. Hextech sweep. Going to grab an extra kill here for Canna. Not sure how that happened, but Mirror's dead again. Well, dead for the first time this game.
Yeah, we did see that Miru. He was the one that threw down the Hextech ultimatum. Still available for Kana. So I thought maybe he just got ultimatumed, but it was actually the other way around.
Yep.
And Haru's getting a lot of consequential farm because of his mid lane getting demolished.
And the counter-pick Mordekaiser into Camille matchup is not doing so well, as here's the flash facebreaker into the showstopper. And it works pretty nicely as Miru does the most that he can, but that sweep going to clean him up. Hitbox, by the way.
Yeah.
It's right on the edge.
Feeling pretty good about that one. And the Karthus ultimate came out. You can see it's on cooldown, but he didn't actually get an assist, which is weird.
Sometimes your audience wants a Requiem. That's,
I just thought that it landed before the sweep, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of strange. Anyway, they're going to be invading the red, trying to get on in there and take that away. The Olaf is going to have to try to find some value in this game.
Does steal the red buff. So there we go. There's that. No Dark Harvest stacks just yet here for Cuz. I thought maybe it was a Dark Harvest ultimate. Isn't, as he's going to sweep up that ward. And Haru had started off the Rift Herald. See whether he's going to be able to continue it as Teddy. Thinking about moving on up to meet this one as Magical Journey gets Hanwha Life over here, and it is Shelly that's going to be falling at the hands of Hanwha. Cuz clearing out control wards as Miru comes back in with his scones and abducts. And Teddy will find himself very comfortable backtiming with the help of his ultimate. Or maybe some plates, depending on what he wants. His effort's going to pull out the Brambleback. Lehends is going to wander over a ward and get back down towards this bottom side as Teddy is able to secure a solo plate for himself. Not too bad as Showstopper picked up by Miru.
Oh,
Get his face broken though, and he's taking a lot of damage. Trying to trade back as Haymaker, again, going to be flung wildly into the abyss.
Yeah, the Sylas into the set matchup doesn't look all so good as here we go.
Whoop. That's a very comfortable flash there from Teddy. Sometimes you need to work out whether you need to hold onto your flash, and other times you really need to flash. And that was definitely one of those times.
Yeah. Had he got slowed, the follow-up would have been pretty devastating. You don't want to play with that. You just want to dodge the first slow with your flash.
All right, Miru just dashes on out of that Haymaker. Faker will hit one eventually.
Yeah, I mean, Sylas can dodge some of that, but he can't really dodge when Faker just runs straight at you, face breaks, and then begins to take extended autos and trades and stuff like that in Kingsley, but he's also getting low on mana against the set, which doesn't have mana. And so he's just getting pushed in and losing this lane, unfortunately. Faker going to look to go on a little walk here.
Yeah, a bit of an adventure as Viper going to be delivered a bunch of plate gold. Lehends. Yeah, just going to help out. This turret is very, very low. That's why Hanwha do have themselves a bit of an advantage when it comes to gold. But because of the Karthus factor, T1 don't really care about it at all as Faker moves on over towards Miru. There's a showstopper. And now the Sylas has to deal with 3 people and he won't be able to. Karthus delivered that kill very, very easily. And Miru may have got to the end of his tether here this game. Not feeling like the same performance that we saw out of the god-tier Galio in Game 1.
Yeah. So you see bottom lane doesn't have Nautilus. You know that you have no vision on the top side. And you see Faker coming in from the bottom side from the river. You can't be pushing that far. He just greeted for like a couple of minions, and he got punished hardcore for it. It's just a straight-up mistake from Miru, and T1 will easily just take that and roll with it. They're going to pick up the first couple of Drakes. It will be Ocean Soul this time around.
Well, there's the Death Realm. Immediate teleport in here from Hanwha as Dudu's trying to hold on to his life. Does have his W, but there's Requiem. Hextech Ultimatum comes down immediately. It's a trade of kills as Cuz gets another one. 100% worth for T1.
Yeah, just a free lane here as Haru's going to come to the mid lane again for probably the 5th time in this game, just getting a bunch of this. But really the big story here is, yeah, they trade the kills, but Karthus has 109 CS and 2 kills already. Yeah. And he does have a Dark Seal on top of it all, so was able to pick that up before his 2nd kill just there. And man, it's going to be a good Karthus game. Everybody has to make a decision. What kind of items do we go for? I feel like in the situation, Zhonya's are generally pretty good because you get the armor, but then also you get the stasis to dodge the Karthus ultimate. So that's one way to try to cover both of your bases. Thankfully, the Mordekaiser builds into that pretty cleanly as well, especially in the Camille matchup. As, yeah, just, again, there's a massive wave because he's trying to push it in desperately, but he stayed a little bit too long.
And yeah, this was pretty self-explanatory as Dudu is going to be dead. Sometimes you shouldn't eat Skittles. They can be bad for you.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know why Mordekaiser was picked. I'm still just absolutely at a loss. It's just, well, I don't know. Top lane counterpick is something that both of these teams have really struggled with. As Viper, he's going to be able to get a lot of work done to this turret. We'll be able to take that one down before the plates as Teddy just wanders himself out, makes it rain. And Hanwha Life will be able to steal away the blue buff. So at least there's that. Miru going to be able to grab that one for himself, but 404 damage not found to the old Gromp there.
So Dudu on the Mordekaiser. He would have had some value here after one item, but he's kind of lost it now that he's so far behind. Cuz is here again.
Yep, that is a decent stunt. Wall of Pain. Not going to proc onto Dudu there. As Viper teleports into the mid lane, they're looking for Teddy. Axe doesn't quite have that range as Teddy picks up the W. There's the flashes coming out from everyone. Depth Charge is going to connect. Dredgeline will be available. Teddy has no flash, and that is a dead Misfortune. And another buff to be stolen here from Hanwha. They're not out of this one just yet, as Effort looking to come in. Finds a Dredgeline onto Haru. Wall of Pain. There's the Ragnarok as now Miru tries to eat some of the aggro, and unfortunately has a little bit of a bigger bite than he wanted.
Yeah, the way that should have been played is Haru should have Ragnaroked right away. Just run. And Miro should not be there trying to save him. Just run away. The Olaf should be okay. They all use their summoners to try to kill the MF, and it was a little bit risky to bite off a little bit more than they could chew going for the red buff at the same time, which is pretty low value at this point in the game. Either way, it was a little mistake that T1 were able to capitalize on immediately and give even another stack of the Dark Seal on to the Karthus, who picked up an assist.
Yeah, and more Dark Harvest stacks as well, which is really scary. We're going to check this one out from Karthus' perspective. Whoa.
Whoa.
That was...
That's what Faker hears. That's him in the other dimension.
That's what the other senses can pick up. We had a taste. Oh, no. As, this is too many flashes, guys. It's a lot of flashes. And at least one of the abilities landed. Faker in trouble, as Tempered Fate avoided there pretty nicely. He is ghosting around. Still has the flash available, by the way. As there are so many shows being stopped. Someone continue the show! As Faker at 200, just chopping through the grit. Going to be absolutely fine. There's the magical journey. And an abduct onto Cuz as well. Down to about half effort. Now finds himself in amongst 3 members. There is a magical journey as there's a Requiem. Miru trying to grab that health back. The MF going to be able to take him down. Exhaust as Lahenda's just meep slapping him. Trying to grab those kills, but Canna's going to be able to grab the bar. Haru should be dead as well. A double for the Camille, and that's disastrous news here for Hanwha, who did manage to grab a couple of kills, but they are traded back in kind, plus an extra one for T1.
Yeah, clearly Hanwha Life have thrown all caution to the winds. Lahenz is leading the charge. He says, we are going on this, whether you like it or not.
Come with me on my magical journey.
Exactly. And the first one comes in, and then Faker able to reposition there, gets the shield, and then chooses the perfect moment to flash. You notice that he doesn't flash the wall. He waits until he gets show stopped over there. And then it's the magical journey. They're going so deep, way too deep. TP is available on Camille. Definitely way too risky of a play. And even the Karthus is going to get a lot of value out of this. He doesn't end up going down. And he picks up an assist. He gets actually another assist here, as he didn't get that kill either.
The Dark Harvest stacks, man.
Yep.
Oh, God. I want to see that number. I really want to see that number. As Cuz is just so fair right now. 3-0 and 4.
Yeah. 8 stacks. And looks like maybe a Spellbinder coming up next. We'll have to see. I mean, he's going up against a lot of guys that can close the distance. And obviously, the active is good. You're spamming a lot of abilities, so I don't mind it. If he does end up going into that idea. No Majais just yet. We'll see if he actually does go down that path. That was a very common path after Karthus used to get fed in the past when we were seeing more of this jungle Karthus.
Yep, may as well sit in base and just stack up your Majais. No worries. Let the rest of the team do the work. As Miru's going to make his way down bottom lane. Finds a bit of an abduct there onto Kano. Takes a fair bit of damage. He's got double buffs. He's very happy on the Camille. Doesn't quite have lifesteal built up yet, but that Ravenous Hydra will come in pretty soon. Hanwha get to work in this mid lane. Unable to take down that outer turret just yet. His outer turrets in side lanes certainly have been taken down. T1 very close to removing the top one. Liandry's completed here for the Mordekaiser, but I don't think that's going to change him into a different champion, unfortunately. As he is ahead in farm, some way or another. Wall of Pain not going to be any issue here for Hanwha. T1 very happy. I mean, they're currently almost 2,000 gold in the lead, and they have a comp that scales very, very well.
Yeah, they can kind of sit back here and just let the scaling happen. Camille, Karthus is such a deadly combo. And keep in mind that Hanwha Life essentially just played straight into that hand as well.
Yeah, I know. Olaf Mordekaiser, 4 and 5. I don't know, man.
Yeah, doesn't make too much sense to me.
No.
And we're not seeing any of the results come out either. So it's definitely interesting. The roll-off picked up a lot of kills, but who really cares about that?
I mean, that's actually just bad news, right?
Yeah.
Because Olaf isn't able to translate gold into really anything towards the later stages of the game. He's just going to be tankier, I guess. Can run at Teddy, but I mean, it's Cuz that they need to kill. It's Canna that's going to be a problem, and Faker is going to be diving into their backline so that Viper can't get any work done. Like, this is certainly a rough situation for Hanwha.
They want the red buff again.
So we're having a look at the magic resist of the Ezreal, sitting at 34. He's not going to be able to mitigate much of the damage here of the Karthus.
Yeah.
That I believe we were discussing.
Note that Cuz is going just flat AP.
Death cap second item.
Yeah, he is going into the death cap. As
okay, get the flash out of the Karthus. That's good news.
He's the highest level in the game as a jungler, too.
He's at 192 farm at 19 minutes.
Yeah.
He's like 10 CS a minute as a jungler.
Haru just hit level 11. And Cuz is about to hit 14 on top of that. So it's not like he just hit level 13.
He's the highest level in the game.
Yeah.
That's just silly, really.
And, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. This is kind of slowed down a little bit after a ton of just throwing caution in the wind from Hanwha Life, going way too deep. The side lane, it looks like Dudu has matched up against Faker, and they're sending Mirrored to go up against Camille.
Very close to the transformation here for Viper. Thank you for indicating that one to us, Jonas Strong. 50 seconds on that Ocean Drake. We'll see whether Viper does get the transformation in time for that one. Death Dance going to help the Ezreal against the Karthus, but the Karthus just picked up a really cool hat. And yeah, look, he's got a book. He's got a ring.
Yeah.
He liked it. He put a ring on it, and then he got a really cool hat for it. So he's off to the races.
And nobody's really building MR, which is what happens when you have one source of AP that is Karthus. He just is able to get so much value because nobody's building against him. Except the Olaf, of course, but I mean, they're pretty far away from their stopwatches and Zhonya's on top of it. So I think maybe you just go and pick up the Oblivion Orb at this point to begin to do true damage to the Ezreal specifically, but including everybody else.
Yep, you can see Hanwha are looking for a fight here. As we'll see who's going to be Death Realmed this time around. This is Ocean Soul Point, so Hanwha understand that they have to fight for it. Smite can be removed from the team fight if the Mordekaiser wants to try and battle with it, as Miru picks up a depth charge as Faker looking for the backline. There's the showstopper onto Lehend, so they grab that kill very early. Dudu trying to cycle through that W as he's brought Cuz out of the team fight. Will the Obliterates be there? The answer's no, as T1 are just way too strong at this point in time. Karthus or no Karthus, it doesn't matter. And now they have an Ocean Soul. This game's over.
The game does seem to be over, in fact. Faker, he's looking for the Mordekaiser, but he went the wrong way. Doesn't matter. He had a great engage to start everything off. And from here, everything on the side of T1 has really just scaled past the point of no return. Karthus having insane damage, Camille on top of it. And yeah, they're just going to take everything. The Ocean Soul is down here. The Baron is going to go their way. And I don't think there's really any way to stop it here for Hanwha Life, who were looking good in the beginning of the series, and then come game 3, seems like they lost their patience somehow. As Faker,
I mean, I didn't even think it's patience. I think it's just their last 2 picks in the draft were absolutely awful.
Yeah.
No, like,
they lost their patience for good drafts.
Yeah, maybe that was the case. As at least we did get the interruption onto the Requiem. So Hanwha were able to grab that as Dudu put him into the death chamber. But then T1 just rolled over the top of it because that's all they were focusing on.
Medjai's picked up here for Karthus, so he's going to go straight into this. I mean, he's only one stack away from 10, which will be very nice. Unfortunately, Kana has overtaken him when it comes to the XP department.
Oh no, Cuz, come on, back on the horse.
Okay, he took the Wolves, now he's ahead.
Yeah, got him. Perfect. Teddy's making it rain. He's really enjoyed the bus ride here today. Teddy not really having the standout Teddy performance. You can see him on your screen right here. Effort also, I feel like this game hasn't been about bottom lanes, which is really interesting because Hanwha Life only had a bottom lane for their first round robin. Since then, you know, Miru has stepped up. Not this game, but recently as Kanna's just going to walk back into the Hextech ultimatum of Miru. Throws his own out, but it's not going to be enough. And yes, you killed the Camille, but you lost 2 inner turrets and possibly your Mordekaiser as well. As there's the showstopper, Dudu, taking a lot of damage here from Faker, who is just so tanky. He's got a Trinity Force. Absolutely brilliant. There we are. That's not a Black Cleaver.
Yeah.
That's Trinity Force. That's going to make LS proud. As, yep, Dredgeline going to connect onto Haru, trying to turn it around onto Effort, who does have the Gargoyle Stoneplate. 4 versus 4 here on the bottom side. As Kanna is, of course, still dead, but this inhibitor going to be taken down, and T1 gets so much more out of this exchange. It's a 3,000 gold Baron power play. As, yeah, you traded your top laners 1 for 1, but didn't really feel like 1 for 1, did it, guys? Miru dashing around here on the bottom side.
Mordekaiser's like 0.15 of a champion right now, I think. Really doing absolutely nothing in this game and still left scratching our heads over the pick. Here is committing a lot to killing Kana. It's a very nicely placed Tempered Fate, which is actually a zoning ultimate in this case, which is going to get him into position. Dudu here, who's like, yeah, let's bring the set closer. That sounds like a good idea.
I was wondering whether you were going to mention it.
And then, yeah. I think they just end up giving this kill over to Karthus. Maybe not even on purpose.
He's probably dead again, as Requiem is a button that was pressed. Miru goes gold. As he's probably just going to be taken down here. Tempered Fate is going to buy a little bit of extra time, as there is a lot of gold in here, but it's mostly for T1 to join their very full trophy case that they already have for themselves. A 10,000 gold lead, the monkey off the back of T1 here, as it's a red side victory up against Hanwha Life, and it wasn't close, guys. This Karthus got so damn fed. A brilliant example of what 5th pick on red side can be. It was amazing what T1 managed to do with it this time around. It was a brilliant draft. And yes, Hanwha Life certainly drafted into it, but this is what happens if you can navigate a draft phase really well. That's exactly what T1 just proved, and that is a great sign for them moving forward.
Yeah, definitely a big game over to the side of Cuz. He was probably calling for that pick and waiting for the right moment. With the flex pick set that I think everybody was kind of just assuming was going to go into the jungle and then we were going to save the counter pick for Faker. Yeah. That was not the case in this game, as they were able to rotate it into mid and get the unexpected Karthus there on that one. And while it is a win for T1, we do also still have to look at the way that this series did go. Again, Hanwha Life, they're a team that is 1-10. 1 win, 10 losses here in the LCK. And whilst T1 did pick up the win today, they still dropped a game to our 9th place team in the LCK, which leaves you scratching your head. Why is this happening? Pretty much every other team that's up towards the top, they are smashing Hanwha Life, and it's not close, okay? We're having some of the quickest games between those two teams when they go head-to-head. So while T1 did win today, it still does bring up some questions about where their form is right now, and some of their drafting as well was a little bit questionable. And
yeah, game number 1 didn't look great when it came to the draft, the gameplay, anything. I mean, it was a really, really slow first blood once again, over 18 minutes. It was, you know, led me to think that maybe this was going to be once again the T1 that isn't going to make plays. But games 2 and 3 definitely looked much better. We know that T1 do take a little while to warm up So hopefully this is a sign of things to come. Remember, the only team that they've lost against that isn't part of that powerful top 3 is, of course, Team Dynamics. And so it's only one loss. They were still able to get the 2-0 over KT in the Telecom War. I think the next one is coming up very, very soon. I think next week is going to be the next time that they're going to be taking on one another. Will be very interesting to see what KT have planned for them. But it's not as bad as I think a lot of people are making it out to be for T1, results-wise. However, if they want to get back to first place here in the LCK, they're going to have to show us way more than a 2-1 victory over Hanwha Life.
Exactly. It's all about the form, right? It's about, you know, we're getting towards the end of the season. We're going to get into playoffs soon. I think T1 will definitely make it. They're a playoff caliber team, but where do they line up against DRX, Damwon, and Gen G? And I do believe that those other 3 teams would have stomped Hanwha Life a little bit harder here in this series, but there's still time. There's still series for T1 to work on things. At least they'll get the win. And hopefully they can bounce off of this one and perform a bit better as the season does come along here. Hanwha Life, still a little bit disappointing. I was getting a bit hyped after game number 1 that maybe the turnaround was coming soon for this team after taking a big win against T1. But that was not the case, as we were disappointed here, especially in game 3 by their performance and their draft especially.
I mean, I personally think that this is still better news for Hanwha. I know they lost, right? But this didn't look like a blowout. This looked like Hanwha could actually tango with the western side of the LCK. So definitely good news. I mean, we have painted the picture of this being a T1 that don't necessarily look like the same level as our top 3, but maybe it's an example of Hanwha Life finding their way back up towards better form. They were always the gut check team, right? It feels like it's a freaking now who manages to crush everyone below them but loses horrifically to everyone above them. And it used to be Hanwha. I mean, they were 6th. That was their thing. They did it for so long, even back when they were rocks beforehand. Not really the case at this point in time, as having a look at some of these highlights is certainly showing that T1 still do have those incredible team fighting powers, as Canna's very, very last second stopwatch was pretty impressive, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more from Hanwha, seeing better performances from them. This is a T1 that we still need more from as well. Sort of like the beginning of something for both of these teams.
Good tempered fate from
DJ다 이거. 올라프 노플이야. DJ. 와우. 이제 풀 있어. 올라프 노플.
Wow.
이거 싸움부터 봐.
오는 거 타워 칠 때 오는 거만 보면 돼. 타워 칠 때 오는 거.
깨면 되겠다.
이제 노비전.
Say,
올라프 노플.
타워 좀 깨줘.
Kill the tower.
알잖아.
나 궁가능해.
형 내가 뭐 좋아하는지 알잖아.
뭐야 이거?
내가 뭐 좋아하는지 알잖아.
뭐야? 상호야 너야 이거. 나 지금 안 돼? 나 너가 뭐 좋아하는지 알 것 같아.
내가 뭐 좋아하는지 알잖아. 빨리.
상호야. 내가 부탁해. 다음에
버스 개꿀.
They wanted that kill, but it did not happen. And Cuz was like, man, Karthus is fun.
He is fun.
He is. He's really fun. 18,000 damage in 26 minutes. He was popping off in that game.
Also probably had the most gold in the game, the most everything in the game. As this is T1 with back-to-back sub-30-minute wins. Brilliant. They lost game 1.
Wow.
But if you just cancel that out, say you started watching, you know, an hour after the broadcast started, like a lot of people, then you're going to be very happy with how T1 played this one out. And if you're a Hanwha Life fan, I think we're going to be looking at drafting more than anything else. I think that the drafts didn't put Hanwha in a great position, but then also T1 played better in the last 2 games. As it is going to be Cuz, this is a very, very easy one. Finally, Brendan Valdez gets one right.
Yeah.
As I believe unanimous. We'll have to get confirmation on that one from our producers.
Somebody's going to vote for Teddy because they're a fan of Teddy. Guarantee it.
There's one vote for Chovy. It's like the ring-in vote from LS. He's playing in the next match, dude.
You got to get him 3 POGs. He's got to catch up to BDD somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, this is going to be huge, right? BDD versus Chovy in our next matchup.
Ooh.
This is the POG battle.
This is for all the marbles, basically.
Yeah.
The second Haru sees the Dredge line is going to hit him, he needs to hit Ragnarok. And Mirror shouldn't be going in there like, I'll save you. I'm Silas.
Yeah. I'll just press R and go back. Oh, wait, that's a different champion. Never mind. It was 9 out of 12, so there were 3 people that made a bit of a mistake when it came to the POG vote.
I like the way you describe it.
I mean, it is a mistake.
It's probably 3 Faker votes.
I mean, the set did look pretty good. I mean, the escape was actually
about it. Yeah.
pretty cool. We are going to go to the interview now, so let's throw it over to Jason.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's hear from Kana and Cuz picking up a win against Hana Life Esports. Congratulations. How do you feel, Kana? At first, in game number 1, it was a little bit shaky that we lost that game, but it's a big relief that we secured a win in the end. What about you, Cuz? Same. I was a little bit worried as we lost game number 1, but we were able to focus in game number 2 and 3 and come back. Indeed, Hana Life Esports, they looked really aggressive and proactive. How did the players think about their form? Especially your matchup up against Dudu on the top lane. The grabs Camille is really strong in the early game, so I had to go for early trades.
저도 맞대응으로 세게 한 것 같아요.
Oh, so Dudu had to go for a very early trade, so I had to answer to it. And we want to ask you about this cleanse.
오로지 실수고요.
That was 100% mistake,
결과는 승리했긴 한데
but we did
어쨌든
manage to get a win, but that was a
반성하는
mistake,
생각을
so
하고
I'm a little bit regretting my choice.
그러면 실수시긴 했지만 정확하게 레넥톤을 상대해보니까
Even though you did a really great job up against Renekton. It was a lot more comfortable, to be honest.
편하게 경기를 잘
저는 그 1경기 좀 질문하고 싶은데요.
I have a question about game number 1. Hana, you played Quinn into Renekton.
T1의 전 T1 선수였던 칸 선수가 좀
And that reminded me of Khan, the former T1 player.
라인전을 좀 미친 듯이
Khan, he's a really a lane kingdom type of player on the top lane, so weren't you also wanting to play that way? Because Nidalee was putting a lot of pressure on the top side.
퀸이 유리한 구도는 맞는데
Well, Quinn does have a favorite matchup
선수분들이 좀
in early
잘
phase,
대처한 것
but
같고요.
Hana Life
잘
Esports were really
처음에 많이
smart
빠지고 그래서 잘 대처한 것
protecting the
같고요.
top
그다음에
side.
좀 실수가 나와서 좀
And there were some
안 좋게
mistakes,
흘러간 것
so the game did not go as we
그럼
planned.
이번에는 커즈 선수에게 여쭤보고 싶은데요. 카서스가
Moving on to Cuz, we saw Karthus coming out in game number 3. What was the plan in that pick? We had the right situation, and we were quite confident, and we needed a very strong AP champion in jungle. Karthus was actually rising in solo queue earlier, but it took a while to show up in competitive games. I also thought that the recent patch was a nerf onto Karthus, but I realized that it was a buff for jungle Karthus.
거의 역대급 성장을 보여준 거다. 저희도 그런 생각을
And your Karthus scaled up really fast. And that was one of your main champions as well. Had that happened before in scrims? I mean, we have some plans, but at the same time, Hana Life, they made some mistakes reacting to this Karthus pick. Khan, he was also has this experience playing in the same team with Cuz, and Cuz is really good at scaling with this champion. We have highlights over here from game number 2, the game ending setup on the side of T1. You guys were the main characters in this highlights. Hana Life was overextending for the dragon fight, so we were going in for this fight to answer their mistake. I could go in for this first, so I went in, and we were able to close out this fight. This game was really close, to be honest. If Aphelios had used his flash to finish up Camille, would you have died, or were you be able to answer that? I think if had he flashed, well, I might die. But I also went in onto the Hana Life players, and I made a mistake with the upgrade Q, actually. So yeah, it was a very bad mistake coming out from me as well.
이 경기 오늘
And cuz your performance is back. How do you rate your own performance today?
저희가 연습해온 틀이 있는데 항상
We always have this plan during the scrims, and in game number 2 and 3 we were able to execute it in the right way, and we all played well. So I'm just glad that we were able to pull it off.
중반부터 칸나 선수한테 힘을 확 실어주는 플레이를 잘해주신 거고 카라스는
And as Volibear, you are trying to support Kana a lot, and on Karthus you were the main character and the carry role of your team, and that's what the fans were looking forward to seeing from you. After the pick and bans, there are the certain plays that you have to follow depending on your comp. So when we are in a lead, sometimes I go in, and it just all depends on the current situation of the game. And your next opponent will be KT Roaster. What's your mindset for that series?
이번에 좀 불안하게 좀 이겼는데.
We had a very shaky win today, so I just want to have a fiery match and get a 2-0 win.
솔로 킬도 또 기대할게요.
And we'll be looking forward to seeing another solo kill from Yukana. What about you, cuz? Any message for your fans? Thank you for all your continuous support. And our teammates, our coaching staff, we are all working so hard, so keep supporting us. Thank you. This will be the end of the interview with Kana and Cuz from T1.
축하드립니다.
And once again, congratulations on your win. Moving on, let's check out the standings of the LCK.
Thank you very much, Jason, for the translation. Wow, the standings were not there for very long. Can we bring them back? There we go. Perfect.
No, we saw them long enough.
T1 solidify their position in 4th place. This is something we were talking about yesterday. If they had have lost 0-2 to Hanwha, they would have been even with Afrika, but that is not going to be the case. Feels like T1 are in that 4th place island between the top 3 and the rest.
Yeah.
As speaking about the top 3, DRX versus Gen G, taking on one another. If Gen G win in any way, they are going to be ahead of DRX, or tied with DRX, and that's crazy. DRX have been
could happen
in first place since week 1. They have literally never been out of first place this entire season, and they're going to have to get that 2-0 over Gen G. Remember last time in round 1, it was Gen G T1, one after the other for DRX. That was their first test, and they passed it, and that carried them all the way through the first round robin.
Yeah, I think that Gen G is really dangerous right now. It's going to be a crazy best-of-3 series.
Exactly. Chovy versus BDD. Everyone, we are going to have a short break. When we get back, the big one.